European Union ambassadors have approved a promised €90 billion loan to Ukraine. The move followed a decision by Hungary to drop its veto following Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's crushing electoral defeat. His administration had previously blocked the loan. Let's get more on this now and speak to our correspondent in Kyiv, Jess Parko. Jess, good to see you. Yes, the new government of the incoming Prime Minister Peto. All changed there. So what will this mean for Ukraine? Well, essentially, an injection of cash, and cash that Ukraine says is much needed in the current circumstances. So, this story began to an extent back in late January when Ukraine reported that a Russian strike had caused damage to oil infrastructure in western Ukraine. And this affected, they said, a pipeline that runs from Russia but through Ukrainian territory to Hungary and Slovakia. And from that time, oil stopped flowing through that pipeline, as Ukraine said. It had essentially been damaged. This caused anger, particularly in Budapest. It fed into that election campaign, and the outgoing Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, of course, he lost the election, accused Ukraine of an oil blockade, and proceeded to hold up this €90 billion loan that the EU have been planning to give to Ukraine. Now, what's happened over the past 24 hours is that the stars have somewhat aligned on this. It looks like the oil is beginning to flow. Following what Ukraine has said are repairs to the infrastructure and the money as well. So as you say, EU ambassadors in Brussels this morning signing off that €90 billion package that's set to be given to Ukraine over the next couple of years. Also approving a further sanctions package, I think the 20th on Russia. So Ukraine will be relieved to get that cash. Certainly, and it's set to go on defense procurement and general budget support as well. There is still a further formal written procedure to really sign off that money, but that's expected to go through in the next 24 hours. And Jess, just as you were speaking to me, we're seeing President Zelensky hailing this progress on the EU loan to Ukraine as, quote, the right signal. So you've just mentioned what it will be used for, that €90 billion. But in terms of that relationship, that new relationship with the incoming Hungarian Prime Minister, and how that changes the dynamics of the EU, what more might that deliver for Ukraine in terms of support, if not financial, but in other ways? Yeah, I mean, Viktor Orbán, as I say, the outgoing Hungarian Prime Minister, long seen as leading a government that had kept close ties with Russia following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, was often seen as a thorn in the side of the EU as it looked to find ways to support Ukraine, whether it was through financial assistance like this, Ukraine's hopes of one day joining the European Union. So look, I think if we're honest, Ukrainians are not going to be sorry to say goodbye to Viktor Orbán. Viktor Orbán and President Zelensky had a very difficult relationship. I think they're watching to see what the incoming Prime Minister will have to say. Certainly, he's talked about trying to have a bit of a reset in terms of relations with Brussels, and has acknowledged as well that Ukraine, in essence, is the victim of an invasion into its territory. So I think Ukrainians certainly looking to welcome the new Hungarian Prime Minister. But of course, he hasn't taken office just yet. Okay? Jess, thank you very much for that. Jess Parker in the Ukrainian capital.